Welcome to Focus Today, and actually it is a special edition of Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and we have been in a very interesting time here at theDove. I have to say the last several weeks have been very interesting here at theDove. We have had our main television computer go down at theDove. It's the one that runs the entire television operation. And honestly, folks, we weren't counting on this at all. I mean, this is like getting a flat tire in the middle of a race, you know. And so we started to diagnose the situation, try to figure out what to do. We got some great engineers on staff, IT engineers. We started looking at all of this, tried to figure out what can be done. Bottom line is it can't be fixed. And then we realized, well, hey, wait a minute. We've been on the air with theDove television now 5 years. March 4th will be our 5th anniversary of being on theDove TV. And this computer's been running that entire time, 5 years, 24/7, nonstop. And when it started to go down, it caused a lot of problems. And we are still dealing with those problems. In fact, if you see some glitches on the air, that's what's happening. And so we have to replace it. And we mentioned this to you a couple of weeks ago, to be praying about it and seeing what was going to happen. And I'm always reluctant to come on the air and ask for support. It's just personally hard for me to do, you know, primarily because you folks have been so faithful in getting theDove, the whole ministry, and what we do here. It's just amazing. It's mind-boggling, and you're so faithful. And so, but we have no other options. We have no reserves. We don't have any grants. We don't have any big underwriters. What happens here at theDove happens because of you. And so we need your help. And so a lot of you have been stopping by. Some have come, sent some gifts through the mail. Others have sent it through email and things like that. And to replace the basic computer is about $15,000. Well, as of yesterday, those funds came in, and we're just stunned. My heart, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so as we looked at this, all along we thought, boy, wow, we could replace it just by replacing the basic computer. But if we could do the next level upgrade, it positions theDove TV for great things. First of all, it positions us to go HD, which is high definition. It positions us to create a network. We have 3 other television stations in the state of Oregon that are giving serious consideration about taking theDove TV channel full time. This upgrade would allow us to send that channel to them and customize it for them without any loss of airtime. The upgrade also gives us something that's very important, and you computer geeks, you people who understand IT, it gives us the ability to have 3 redundancies. In other words, backup to backup to backup, which is extremely important in what we do. And it comes with a great warranty system. So today we thought, well, we would ask ever so gently that if the Lord leads you to help us raise an extra $10,000 or more, that we would go ahead and order the computer with the next upgrade involved in it. Now, we figure that our computer is about, well, maybe it's patched together for a couple of months at the best. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to get the new system delivered. And then from there, we'll have to do the training and get installed. So we're kind of in a real touchy area right now. And but all morning long, you folks have been calling, you've been emailing. Some folks have even stopped by even this morning. And it's happened so fast. We actually had a $1,200 challenge right at the end of last hour, and I believe we've even met that. So I don't have a total at the moment. I'm sorry. We're not so high tech that I don't have all the fancy things in front of me. So I'm kind of reading some computer screens here, and I'll let you know here in a minute. But the number, if the Lord's leading you to do it, and we're going to be done with this at the end of this hour. That's it. We're done. If the Lord's leading you to help us raise the extra $10,000 or so, you can call us, 541-776-5368, or you can go online at thedove.us, and right at the top of our website, you'll see computer donation. You can click on that button, and it's totally safe and secure. Now, things are happening so fast behind the scenes. Let me just tell you something that's happening as I'm talking to you. And we have been given, just a few moments ago, a gentleman called, wants to remain anonymous. I know who he is, and you know who you are, and I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. He just said, I'll give a $5,000 challenge. Now, that does clearly put us over the goal, but if you got my earlier email, the reason we are going to go for a little more, we were off about 30% in our normal income for January, which put us behind in our budget. So this gentleman recognized that, because I did say that in one of our emails, and said, use it for whatever you need. So this hour, we have a $5,000 challenge that has been given to us. And basically, here's how it works. For every dollar that you give, it's matched up to $5,000. Thank you. So your $5 becomes 10, your 20 becomes 40, your 50 becomes 100. And so here's what you can do. You can call the Dove right now at 541, excuse me, 776-5368, 541-776-5368, or you can go online at theDove.us. And I'm sorry, I get a little emotional about this. It's been very stressful to get through all of this and keep everything going. So this has been a huge answer to prayer. 541-776-5368, or online at theDove.us. Polina earlier today asked a great question. Why do we do what we do? And I literally answered this question several years ago as I was praying and asking the Lord, because I really wrestled, does Christianity need another Christian television channel? You know, what's this all about? And I wrote down what I felt was the answer to that, and I put it on a board for our staff. It's mounted here at the station. And Josiah is our cameraman. Can you zoom in on this? For those who are watching on the Dove TV, you can see it. Those listening on the radio, let me read this to you. Because this is a poster that's literally mounted at the Dove to remind us, all of us, daily what's going on here. And it says, the reasons why we do what we do. Because it's time to create new, refreshing, high quality, and relevant Christian content and media. Number two, because the opportunity and the need has never been greater. Number three, because people are looking for hope and affirmation of their faith. And number four, because only God can match the content with the need of the individual at the right time. And I got to tell you, that last point happens, that miracle happens every hour here at the Dove. Somebody's listening, watching, tuning in at the right time, and whatever's on the air at that moment speaks right to their need, speaks right to their content. That's why we spend so much time behind the scenes aligning ourselves with good Christian programmers and finding the best that's out there, stuff that's solid, stuff that is that you know that is truth, stuff that is not on the edge, stuff that is just good, solid biblical training, defense of the faith. Patrick Doyle, as you know, every time he's on, our YouTube hits skyrocket. They go through the roof. You know, we're averaging right at 60,000 YouTube views a month here at the Dove from all over the country. People go to our website, they download some of the programs that we've had on the show, some of the guests, anything from the apologetics, which is defense of the faith programs, the counseling programs, and people watch them again, then they send them to their friends. We had a chain of letters where somebody got saved in Texas, sent it to their family members in Maine. They got saved and sent it to another friend. I think it was in Panama City, and they came to the Lord. That's what's happening. So when you support the Dove, you're helping us do that. So thank you. Okay, the phone number is 776-5368 or online at theDove.us. This all happened about 5 years ago. And I'm going to take a quick break. We'll come back. Steve's going to join us. We'll show you the clip of the launching of the Dove TV March 4th will be our 5th birthday. It's hard to believe, 5 years old already. And we'll share that with you. But again, you can call right now because your gift up to $5,000 is going to be matched. Here's the number, 541-776-5368, or online at theDove.us. So your $5 becomes 10, your 50 becomes 100, your 100 becomes 200, whatever the Lord leads you to do. And please, only do it if God's leading you to do it. If He's not leading you to do it, don't worry about it. Pray for the Dove. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Polina, and I work at theDove TV. Did you know that when you support theDove TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, theDove.us.
Okay, welcome back, and we're back and on this special edition of Focus Today, and Steve Johnson's in the studio with me today.
Hey,
not often you're on Focus Today, but Steve, you've been around from the beginning of the Dove TV, and of course you've been with the Dove Radio for years before that. You and I worked together years before that, and so you saw the whole television thing from the very beginning.
Yeah, well, and before, this will be my 10th year this year, 10 years being with the Dove. And when I first came, there wasn't even really a discussion about the TV aspect about it. It kind of came about, as you mentioned, it kind of fell in your lap that way. So, you know, I think in the back of your mind, you're probably thinking about, wouldn't that be an interesting foray into the media? But it really wasn't on the map at that point.
We had no idea, and like I said earlier, I have a lot of friends in this industry and in and out of town and all over the country, and kind of had our feelers out that if a channel ever came available, we'd grab it, you know.
You know, though, when you think of it and you look back, it's always hindsight. You have 20/20 vision, you know. When you look at when it all came, and you look at what TV had been before that, as far as in general, the networks, the alphabet networks, the three big ones from the 60s, 70s, 80s, cable came on and all the rest, it was still very expensive. And how people use media too, I think that's a fascinating thing. When we started coming on with the Dove TV, and it gets back to why we're raising funds for this computer that has been running since day one, it should go in the Smithsonian, I would think, you know. And now it's dying, so we need to have that replaced. But when you look at it, the timing is perfect because we could not have afforded a station in the 80s.
No.
It was ridiculously expensive. Yeah. It was expensive in the 90s, and it was expensive in the 2000s. And then costs got cheaper, and we started, I know you and I have had discussions about this, it's not the technology, it's how you use it, and how people are now tied in so much. We're even seeing Cuba as having the internet. Now, wouldn't that be great someday when we get somebody saying, I want a word for you today, send it to Havana, you know, love Fidel. That would be terrific, wouldn't it? By the way, but they're getting the internet now, and we could very well have more of a connection there. So I'm just saying that the timing is just amazing how this has all been pieced together in such a way that the puzzle now, you see the pieces. It first didn't look like France with the Eiffel Tower, and now you're saying, oh, that's what that looks like. And it's all kind of coming together, but we still have a lot of pieces put together.
Well, it came into existence literally miraculously when this gentleman showed up at my door, and I had no idea who he was. He didn't know. He heard of me, that's all. He came in and he was...
Oh, I thought he knew you. He didn't even really know you. Huh?
He knew of me. He lived in Klamath Falls for a while. He had heard of the Dove radio. He had listened to the Dove radio. He had been in and out of television for quite some time. He's one of these guys behind the scenes that could file on licenses. He knew how that was done through the FCC and all of these things. Long story short, he got a license, a television license for Medford for Channel 44. And he came over and he said, I was praying this morning. He said, I am to offer you this license. And I go, wow. After all these years that we tried and we gave up on it. So anyway, we got the license. We had 4 months to get a signal on the air. We did. We worked like crazy behind the scenes. We had to get up on the tower. We had to put an antenna up. We had to do the feed line. We had to do the transmitter. We had to do all this stuff. Literally put a signal on the air for 72 hours. It could have been color barred. You could have had a guy a clown on the air just doing something, you know.
Now, wait a minute. Now you're getting real touchy here. Yeah.
We had to do something for 72 hours. We got it on the air. We put a signal up on the air. We ran a computer, got it going, and then ran it for 72 hours, met the qualifications, took it off the air, and finished building it. And then on March 4th, 2010, for those watching on the Dove TV, this is what happened. We flipped the switch, and it was a big day. And you can see here, it's a little, we'll talk over this, but there we are getting ready for the grand opening of the Dove TV.
And that's at the old place when the carpet actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was before. Yeah.
The place we just moved from last year to here.
We asked folks to come around, and what's so remarkable about the Dove TV is this, when you look back on what happened. We had one of the premier television guys from New Zealand move here to help us put it on the air.
Yes,
Michael Brown. And he was the genius behind it, and we started working on it. And the radio audience paid for the Dove television before it ever went on the air.
That's right.
And we negotiated with Charter Channel 8, Charter TV, to put it on the air at the same time. And it was Channel 18 on Charter. And so we had this great countdown, and a lot of people showed up, and the way it went, and it was an incredible time to see it come to pass, where the Dove TV literally got launched and went on the air. And it was just mind-boggling. It was, they were doing the 8, 9, 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the television station was launched. That was March 4th, 2010.
That's right.
And here we are 5 years later, and the little computer that helped us do all of that died.
Has bit the dust. That's right.
Everything has its season. Well, that one died. And we did all of that in a warehouse. Now we're doing it in an airplane hangar. What's the difference? I don't think much. But anyway, there's so many people to thank. Our viewers and our listeners who helped pay for it and get it on the air before it ever happened. I still get a little emotional about it because it just happened. It just happened.
Well, and you know what occurs is so much work goes on to making it happen, and then when it all of a sudden has life and it gets on the air, then you realize now the work has to restart all over again. And you know, and the cool thing is that our radio audience really gained the vision to understand why this was important to have this station on. And they've been with us ever since, and we really appreciate that. All
right, so we launched it in 2010, okay? Here we are, 2015. In 2012, we won NRB Television Station of the Year. We were 2 years old. And we won the national award. 2014, we won it again. They didn't give the award out in 2013.
Right,
So 2014, we were recognized as the LPTV Station National Award of the Year by the NRB, National Religious Broadcasters. And this past November, I got the phone call. We won it again for 2015. And I leave a week from Sunday to go to Nashville to get the award as Television Station of the Year.
You'll have to do some Skypes for those of us who are back here.
Yeah, we got the phone now. We'll Skype it in. And I'll do a selfie. I've never done one, but I guess I'll do one.
We'll give you a stand to put it on so it doesn't wobble too much.
But anyway, so the main computer that did all that died, and we've got it kind of duct taped back together. And so we're asking you today to help us to finish it off and replace it with the best that we can put in there to make it happen. So earlier today, we had a gentleman call us from Northern California, and he's made a $5,000 challenge.
Thank you.
And basic way of challenge is whatever the Lord's leading you to give, that gets matched up to $5,000. Let me just say, Medford, thank you for 20. Coquille, 500. Medford, 50. Montague, 100. White City, 200. Medford, 1,000. Central Point, 25. Medford 100, Medford 25, Medford 150, White City 200, Crescent City.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now they're listening on the radio and KDOB. That's Dove Brookings.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And they're probably watching on Roku or on
Could be.
On
you can
on
watch
the
from
internet.
Roku anywhere, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Medford 100, Central Point 100. So anyway, we're picking away at this. So if you've been thinking about it, praying about it. Now, folks, I got to tell you, please only do what the Lord's leading you to do. That's it. That's all I'm asking. And if we raise this extra dollars, we will order the computer, we'll get the one with the upgrade, and away we go.
Yeah.
So how can they do it?
Well, there's two ways you can do it that's real simple. You have a third way. You could bring it by if you wanted to. But and we've had people do that before at our old place.
We have some donuts here. You can get a quick tour of the new place.
But the best, easiest way to do it is if you call right now. It's 541-776-5368. That's where you can call us right now. And there are operators ready to take your call. You'll just be on and off for a minute or so. Or you can go online at theDove.us and you'll see this big long name on a button that says Automated Computer Donation. That's a real friendly way of saying push the button and support the Dove.
Okay.
There actually is another support the Dove button. It may go to the same place, but hey, you can use both of them. Make two donations, whatever you're being led to do. But those are the two best ways of doing it.
All right, before we take a break, of the $5,000 challenge, we have $2,845 to go. So if the Lord's been kind of, you know, and again, please, please, please only do what the Lord's leading you to. But your $5 becomes 10.
Yeah.
Your 25 becomes 50, so on. Mm-hmm. So we got $2,845 left in the matching fund. So give us a call, or you can, if it's easier for you, can go right online at theDove.us, click on that big long title up there, has the word computer mixed in with it.
That's right.
That's the button you click on. And
safe and secure. Use it if you want.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paula, and I work at the Dove TV. Every day we get letters and emails from people who've been encouraged, blessed, and challenged by the programs on the Dove TV. But we couldn't do it without you. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to bring inspiration and hope to our community by making a secure online donation at our website, theDove.us, or call us at 541-776-5368.
Well, welcome back, and again, thank you for what the Lord is leading you to do, and thank you to all of you who have been calling and going online this morning. This is just a remarkable day.
Terrific.
And, thank you. I wish I could say it another way, but thank you so very much. We're asking folks to help us with this $5,000 matching gift that's going towards us to upgrade the Dove main television computer that has pretty much melted and is done after 5 years of 24/7 operation. So as I speak, we have $2,155 left in the matching gift. So your $5 becomes 10, your 20 becomes 40, so on, and up to $2,155. So here's the phone number, 541-776-5368. That's the phone number. Our staff is here to take your calls today, and they'll have you on and off the phone pretty quickly. 541-776-5368, or you can go online at the Dove website. It is totally secure, safe, and easy to use. Just press on the big button up there that says Automation Computer Donation. All those big words up there. You can click on that, and that's totally secure. Well, we shared with you how we got to where we are. And we shared with you why we do what we do. And one of the questions people have asked me a lot is, where are you going now? We not only have got on television, we finally moved into our own permanent building, which is in itself another huge miracle. We are going to have an open house. I have delayed it. Because we had some things still to get worked out. So we'll probably do it this spring. But we will do a complete open house and have everybody in to see all of this stuff. But so where do we go now? And we believe that the Lord is calling us into content production. What is that? Well, it's where we make programs that can be used not only on the Dove network, but can be used on other networks. We also believe the Lord's called us into some form of networking. In other words, there's a lot of other television stations out there that are struggling for content, and some are now even considering taking the Dove channel 100%. In other words, we would send them a live feed of what we're doing. It would go to them, and they would broadcast that way. But Steve, you always have had a vision, and we're doing it ever so slowly, to do more programming.
Well, and what you're talking about, really, they go hand in hand, because should we get more, let's call them affiliated stations in some way that want to take our programming, we want to have something that's on there that is certainly connects with people, something that is watchable, that they will have some value in seeing. And so that, with a new station, they would be happy to have that too. The one basic premise, I think it has to be mentioned, is that video content is normally very expensive. But we think that there are ways that you can go about doing this to make it really effective and impacting. Let me just give one example. I think of what Ray Comfort does. Something happens in the news, and he's out there, microphones on the street, doing street interviews, and then he's kind of tying it in with some of his perspective of things. That's one way of doing it, and that's a terrific way of doing it. There aren't that many people who are really moving in that direction. And especially in Christian television, if you want to call it that, I would call it faith TV, you know, because I'm sure that we have a lot of people who are searching, who kind of go through the dials. There's all sorts of, when you sit down and itemize it, there are all sorts of types of programs that I think people would be fascinated to see that hasn't been seen yet. And they don't have to be that expensive. Now, here, let me give you one perspective. There is a travel show that I like to watch. And the person who produces it has stated that when they produce their travel show, it's actually a lot cheaper than most travel shows. So I'm talking about, you might have seen Globe Trekker, that's on PBS. You might have seen Rick Steves. You might have seen Rudy Maxa, some of these. Those average shows in general are around $100,000 for a half-hour program. Wow. Now, we're not talking about coming to our supporters to say, we need $100,000 to make a half-hour show. We think that there's all sorts of ways that you can do this and be able to have quality programming. One of them, one of those shows says, you know, whereas a standard is $100,000 for a half-hour show, we do it for a third of the cost. Well, okay, that's still $30,000 for a half-hour show. It doesn't have to be done that way, and we know that we can do other things. We've said it all along, it's not the technology, it's how you use it that is the great thing. And I think with the connections that we have with some of the UCB affiliates in New Zealand and in England, possibly even Australia, that there are ways that we can connect with people in the industry who have that same vision that we have to make it happen. Now, I know that's the super broad picture, but there's all sorts of other aspects. You can come up with your own, like, shopping list saying, well, we need this kind of a show to do this, have this purpose. It's not just putting it on to say, let's just do a show. Hey, I've got a stage, you've got a curtain, somebody's got a camera, let's do a show. You know, I mean, that's kind of one way that you can approach it, I guess. But we want to look at it, and have been, as to how can we produce something that our viewers, our listeners, our radio audience, our TV audience wants to be able to connect with. So that's kind of the road that we're moving towards, grabbing all these pieces together. And to be quite frank, over the years, Perry, when you start looking at it, the people who have become connected with the Dove, it is amazing how many of them are in the TV industry, the movie industry, how many have connections in those regards that we can possibly tap into as time goes on. It's just kind of a fascinating thing. It's like every other story that you have about the Dove. You weren't expecting to do something and something happened. So we're expecting the exceptional to occur and to be able to move this way so that what we present on the Dove TV not only is great for what we're doing here, but we'll possibly get other affiliates to say, that's why we want the Dove TV as well. Well, that's just a little bit of a snapshot of the future. That sounded like a long snapshot. Well, yeah, a long snapshot. But you know, you got my feel. All right, we have $2,155 left in this matching grant, so we got to do that this hour. The phone number is 541-776-5368, 541-776-5368. And if you're watching this on a rebroadcast, it still works. 541-776-5368, or online, I should say, at theDove.us. That's a good way to look at that on a rebroadcast. Just go to the website and click on Automation Computer Donation. You can click on there. So your gift will double up to $2,155 right now. Terrific. That's what's left. Good. You know, let me just remind you one other little thing that happens, because Steve, you know, explains where we could possibly go in the future. We told you why we do what we do. We told you how we got here. Why does all this happen?
and the Lord dropped into my heart a scripture that I'm sure, it's like you, I'm sure you read the Bible, and all of a sudden you've read that verse before, but now it really pops out at you. This verse is found in two places, Romans 10:20 and Isaiah 65, I believe it is. And it says this, I was found by those who were not seeking me, and I manifested myself to those who did not ask. Now, how does that happen? People are surfing the dial, radio and television, and all of a sudden they come across something, and when they're not even looking for God, He matches the content with them at that moment. And while they're listening or watching, He manifests His love to them. If there's ever a single theme of the response that we get from the Dove programming, it's that. I was tuning in at the right time and I heard this, read that, saw this, listened to this. And that's what happens, that God connected the content of the Dove programming with their need at the right time. So when you support us, you're helping us make that happen. Again, the phone number is 776-5368 or online at theDove.us. A little over $2,100 left on this matching gift. And if we can match this hour, it significantly helps us to replace the computer, replace it with the computer that has the upgrade in it, and moves us on down the road. And thank you. One of my earlier e-blasts that I sent out, I'm trying to think when this was, a couple of weeks ago, I said we had two things. One was the computer, and the other one was that our budget for January was off about 30%. That's significant for us. Very significant. And so when you support the Dove, you're helping us in that area as well. All of this works together. It really does. But folks, when we have the open house and you can come in here and see the miracle, it is a miracle. Steve mentioned, you can do what the networks do and spend $100,000 to make a half-hour documentary or something. You come to the Dove and you can see what no-budget television looks like.
It's more truth than fiction. Yeah.
People say, what's your budget? And I said, well, come on in, I'll show you.
Well, and we've had people volunteer doing things to help us with set design and all sorts of things. Thank you.
Yeah, most of this set design was donated, and somebody came in and pounded the nails and cut the logs, and some of these lights that we have around here came from a movie producer in LA who's now retired and out of the business. He loves the Dove and gave us, we looked at some of these lights, they're thousands of dollars. He gave them to us, So anyway, this is a walk of faith broadcast ministry, and you're part of it. You are a part of it. All right, we got to take a break, but here's the number. We got about $2,100 to go in a matching fund. And I want to say thank you to the gentleman who called this morning. You know who you are. I know who you are. You know who you are. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But call right now. We have 3 lines available. 541-776-5368. Or if it's easier for you, you can go to the Dove website, click on the big button at the top that says computer. 541-776-5368 or online at theDove.us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Daniel and I work at the Dove TV. You know, compared to Portland, Seattle, and LA, Medford might be considered a small market, but at the Dove, we're excited about the opportunity to make a big impact right here in our community. And you help make that happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us now by making a secure online donation at our website, theDove.us, or by phoning 541-776-5368.
Okay, thank you to the many of you who have been calling and going online. This is a special day here at the Dove, and we had no intentions of doing this as we were planning the new year, but our main computer that runs the television operation gave up the ghost and died. And we have to replace it, and it ended up being quite expensive. And so in addition to that, we just by faith asking you to help us maybe not only replace the computer, which we now have the funds to do that, but to upgrade it to the next level. And those upgrades are pretty expensive, you know, $10,000 plus upgrade. And any of you that work in this industry, or if you're in any kind of a tech industry, you know that these things are expensive and it's just what happens, and I don't need to get over detailed and all of that. So we had a $5,000 matching fund given to us for this hour, and we're down to $655 left in that matching fund. So up to $655, your gift will double. So if you've been praying about it, we're going to end this coming up in about 15 minutes. You can go online at theDove.us, or you can call us right now at 776-5368, 776-5368. Polina Leiser, you see her during the 7 o'clock hour on the Dove Morning Show. She also behind the scene is the person responsible for making me look real good on this program, because she gets all the guests. You do a wonderful job.
I'm not your makeup artist, but I do try with the guests.
No, I'm not saying, there's not much you can do with this face, but you can sure make me look good with content.
Oh, you look yourself good, Pierre, because you do really you ask a lot of questions, you come with, you have experience that our guests appreciate, you have the background, you have the knowledge, so, you know, it's really easy to sell you to the guests, to be honest.
I appreciate that. I will say one thing about interviewing people. I've learned the hard way, because I've been in media for 40 plus years. I'm tired of bickering. I'm just so sick and tired. I love talk radio, but now I've become almost disdained by it, because it's just bickering and yakking and screaming and hollering. Let's just have an intelligent conversation, even if we disagree. And so I said, when we do talk, we're not going down that road, so we do it a little bit differently. Yeah. And yesterday, you helped me get a gentleman that I've been wanting to interview for a long time, because I think he does that, and that was Mike Huckabee.
Mike Huckabee, yes.
Governor Mike Huckabee.
Yes, and if you haven't seen it on the Dove yet, that's okay, because we haven't aired it yet.
Yeah.
It's gonna, we're probably gonna schedule it sometime next week.
Yeah.
And it's a half-hour interview with Governor Mike Huckabee from his Florida home.
Yeah.
He gave us his time yesterday. Wonderful conversation, great guy. He was just so, just wanted to please us, you know, while we were just running around trying to accommodate him. He's just
I thought most people that are of that caliber, they may give us 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
He just leaned back and said, whatever you want. And we went for 2 segments. We got him for a full half hour. I so enjoyed that interview, and we'll air that next week. Tomorrow, we have Pastor Robert Jeffers with us, and he's with the big church in Texas. I don't know if you saw him on Bill O'Reilly's program, it would have been the night before last. And he came unglued. Now, we've had him on before, but he came unglued with the president's remark about us Christians before we get on our high horse, and the crusades and the inquisitions and things like that. Yeah. Well, he's going to be with us tomorrow. You've helped us get, well, Todd Reel, Wretched TV. You found Gene Getz for us, who is one of my favorite people in the world now.
He's great.
He has the Life Essential Bible. You've helped us get Wallace Henley, who was in the Nixon administration. He worked in the Nixon White House under the late Chuck Colson. Now he's the lead Bible teacher at the Houston Second Baptist Church, which is a huge church. Everything in Texas is big.
Well, I want to correct you, Pierre. It's not that I helped you get. Yes, I make the phone calls and emails, but it is the Dove that gets us what we get. Because, and I can say in the last 4 years that I've done this, that it's gotten easier. You know, the more awards we get, I mean, it sounds kind of materialistic, but it does help. When you tell people that we've been recognized for 3 years by NRB, it's easier for Mike Huckabee to say yes. It's easier for Ben Carson to say yes. It's easier for Bishop T.D. Jakes to say yes. And so when we get those people, they know they're being part of a company, of a ministry that's being recognized nationwide, available nationwide through Roku and YouTube. So even though I push the buttons, I think all of us make it happen. But it's a joy, it's a blessing to have the opportunity to talk to those guys. Even all I do is say hello, and you get
well,
you get the actual
everybody asks me, how do you get these people? And I say, Polina. How do you get these people? Polina. Well, you do it, and yeah, all of it together. I think it's a collaboration of everything coming together. But you're the one that makes the contacts, and I will say this. You know, when you get a national award, look. It's pretty remarkable.
I know.
You know, when you think, and I know the committee that goes through this, and believe me, they are highly critical, and there are a lot of applicants, and we won the top award now 3 times. And I will say this, we kind of laughed, but.
I didn't laugh. I think it's great.
I'm
proud of it.
We just got this certificate. I'll hold it up here. And you want to read it? What's it say?
Yes, the Focus Today program did not get to be NRB Best Talk Show of the Year, but it got 6th place. Number 6 in the whole nation. You know, 700 Club. I mean, all the talk shows you see on the Dove TV, that's what we were competing against, and we got 6th in the whole of the United States.
I started to laugh, and then I got to thinking about it. I go, wait a minute, this is really significant.
It is, and it wasn't low power or high power, however they rate them.
This is talk show against all of the other Christian talk shows that are out there.
So we're on the radar.
Look, we're not trying to be the best. These are just recognitions. We're just trying to be impacting and effective. Yeah. And so, anyway, it's been an interesting 2 weeks. And the Dove is primarily listener and viewer supported. And we had a tough January. We were about 30% below in our budget. And then our computer goes down. And it was very stressful on me personally and everybody, because, you know, like any other ministry, dollar in, dollar out. You know, we manage what God provides. And so then when the computer went down, I just was sick. And but now I have to tell you, I'm overwhelmed. Make sure I don't get too emotional here, but I'm overwhelmed because what's happened here is that a lot of folks helped us raise the funds to replace the basic computer, which was about $15,000. And then if we could have done the next upgrade, which is a significant upgrade, it allows us and positions us to go HD. It allows us to go network, which we can feed other stations. It gives us 3 redundancies, 3 backup system, one after the other. So the system has all this built-in protection. It gives us a warranty, which we long ran out of, and positions us to really become a serious player. And so we asked you today to help us with that. We're going to end this here in about 8 minutes. And I can honestly say we've met our goal. That's just remarkable.
Thank you.
And anything that you would send in now just helps us with our budget, which we were low on for January, and actually a little low going into February. But I think that is a little subtle reminder, folks. I wish there was another way to do this without fundraising. But on the other hand, I get scolded by listeners and viewers and supporters who say, look, we feel led of God, we feel called of God to be a part of what you're doing. And it's not us, it's all of us together, you know, so that's what's happening.
But I think it is, you're right, people, I mean, any human being, we have that need to give, most of us. Yeah. And we want to be part of something great, and a lot of our supporters want to be part of the Dove ministry. So, yes, we feel a little bit apologetic about what we do, but we are very appreciative of what you do and how you respond to our call, because it's not easy. That's not what you're called to do. You're not, I mean, you are a great businessman, but you're not, that's not your favorite thing to do.
Well, it's not, and I don't know why. Some people do it very easily. I'm humbled by it. I really am humbled by it, and but I just want you to know this place is your place. You're welcome to come by. We have postponed our open house, and I'll tell you why. Because finishing this room off, it just was one little delay after another, and then we got hit with this computer thing, and all of a sudden your priorities change. And now we're fighting weather. I thought, why don't we just wait till the spring when the weather's nice, and we can open the doors and let it be. Yeah. So we're going to do it this spring. We're going to have an open house and dedication. And there's some people that want to come from across the country to be here for the dedication. So we'll do all of that this spring. But you are very much. I'm just looking at the numbers here. It happens so fast. Anyway,
it's amazing. And I want to say, because we talked about some big names that we've got on the Dove TV and especially Focus Today. But I also want to say thank you to the local folk, to the local pastors and counselors and doctors and financial experts, because we have such a great talent in the Valley. And it's an honor, even though we may not talk about you all the time, but it's an honor to have you on the Dove. And I want to say thank you to all of you who send me story ideas, who send me interview ideas, and connect us with those ministries, because it is one of the Dove's missions is to be the voice for local ministries and local churches. So thank you.
I'm passionate about that. I feel very strong that part of our purpose is to give voice to other ministries, parachurch ministries, and I'm talking, you know, Cindy and Robin at the Pregnancy Center.
Yeah. Right to Life, Brian.
Right to Life. We've got Bud Amundsen and his entire team. You got Kevin Lamson over there at Hearts with the Mission. You got the Salvation Army. You got the Medford Gospel Mission. And now that the Dove is in other areas, you know, we are trying to connect with those ministries that are serving like up and down the coast or over in Bend and around. We're trying to connect with those ministries where we want to be a voice for you too. And so we feel very passionate about that. Part of the Dove's purpose is to help those ministries get exposed so that people who are called to help them will help them.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's a blessing. It's like you said, it's the voice, and God willing, is using us, and I want to say thank you. I know you had your chance to say thank you, but I saw the numbers, I answered some of the phone calls, and it's just amazing how God makes it work. So Perry, no need to worry. He's got it under control. Yeah,
he does. He has a weird way of showing me that.
You got a few more gray hairs in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you earn these. You don't grow them, you earn them. All right, first of all, to the gentleman in Northern California, thank you for your matching gift. I can't read all these names. Medford, Coquille, Montague, White City, Central Point, Crescent City, Klamath Falls, Eagle Point Trail, Grants Pass, Talent, Jacksonville, even one out of Idaho, Washington State, Washington County, and the list goes on and on and on of people who have contacted us today to help us. So thank you so very much. The goal has been met, and once all of the funds are here, I will be making some big decisions over the next day or two, and I'll report to you back once I've made all those decisions.
And the phone number is still there, and there's still people willing to answer your phone
Yeah,
call,
we need your support no matter what.
Call us at 541-776-5368, or go online at theDove.us. There's a button up there that says something really long,
automation,
like automation,
computer, donation.
Yeah, so click on that.
Yeah,
everything else is easy.
Automation, computer, donation. Yeah, that was done by an engineer. You can tell that.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill. Anyway, again, thank you. Continue to. Let me just say this in closing, and I emphasize it a lot, but I can't tell you, and anybody in ministry will tell you this, that it's your monthly support that makes the big difference. I can't tell you how important that is. And so if you've been praying about supporting the Dove over a monthly basis, you can do that real simple. You can call us, you can go online, whatever. But it is your monthly support that makes the big difference here, month in and month out. And if I could get by with never doing a fundraiser again, I will do that.
I know.
You know
You'll
that.
be the first one.
Yeah, I will do that. So pray about it. You can always support us, and we do need it all the time. But believe me, it's carefully managed. In fact, I just sent out the February newsletter that we sent out, gave you an accounting of what we do. It was on the back of that. And you can say, well, boy, that's a lot of money in. It's also a lot of money out. That's what it takes to keep a network of radio, television stations going. All right, the number is 541-776-5368. You can call that anytime throughout the day. And if you feel led, you can still go online at theDove.us. Click on the big computer button at the top. You can help us there. Thank you so very, very much, all of you. You know who you are. I wish I could name all the names. I can't do that, and I won't do that. But thank you from the bottom of my heart, from all of us here at the Dove. Thank you for partnering with us and making a difference in so many people's lives. Daily, people are being impacted by the gospel because of your support of what the Dove is doing. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow on Focus Today. Don't forget, tomorrow, Robert Jeffress is going to be with us.
Yep.
And that's going to be a fun program. And next week, Mike Huckabee will be with us. So stick around.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I work at the Dove TV. Every weekday between 6 and 8 a.m., our award-winning news and sports team bring you the best morning show around. It's live, it's honest, and it's a whole lot of fun. And you help make it happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to air local programs that share your voice by making a secure online donation at our website, theDove.us.